afternoon. My name is Adrian Klein. I represent the Oneida and Ojibwe nations.
So this is my wife, Krystal Bigsky. This is our son, Alexander James. And then we have Liliana.
Today we're going to be sharing
What we now call powwow dancing. So when these warriors would come back, they would often reenact their battle they were in. Maybe it was a hunting trip when they come back to the village or to the community. They'd reenact or retell their story through dance. And that's what we do today. The women felt like they were just as capable of the men to, perform this high intensity dance style. So there were some that did dress like the men and dance with the men, and the women were dressed like Krystal, with the traditional buckskin and beaded top, and they would dance the fancy footwork with that regalia. Like we refer to it as our regalia or our outfits. Sometimes it's referred to as a costume or something of that nature, and I have to, I try to do my best in a good way to correct, and because when we put on a costume, we're pretending to be somebody we're not, right? And when we wear our regalias, it's representing who we are as a people. So now we can go into that a little bit too, as to why we dance. We often say we dance for those that can't, right? Whatever that reason may be. We dance for those that may need that spiritual uplift, those ones that are hurting in some way, or those that are struggling with their health. It's through dance where we can express ourselves, emit that positive energy, and it's often an outlet for us too. Sports, or doing something you enjoy, something you're passionate about doing that makes you feel good, and that's what dancing does for myself, and I see that in my children as well too. The modern challenge is that understanding of the impacts that the struggles that many Indigenous families have endured over the years, and many of those struggles, although they weren't firsthand with today's generation, like myself and my children, we still feel those effects. Just everyday people living interwoven into the urban setting. We're not all on reservations. We're here in the city. Proud of who we are and where we come from. Yeah, so what could you do to be an ally for Indigenous people? Taking what you learn, or what you're able to see, take that and share that with your neighbor, with your family member, as the Indigenous culture and practices is becoming more visual, throughout the community, throughout the nation. A lot of times the older generations never had that opportunity, So now take that opportunity to share with that new understanding that you develop for Indigenous people, and build on that and continue to learn. As the Indigenous people are the original caretakers of this part of the world, and it's important to recognize that, to learn from them, to learn with them, to grow with them. And that's important to take that and to spread that, to share that, any opportunity you have. that I like to share is, for everyone out there when it's pertaining to Indigenous people is to, be willing to learn, to listen, to hear the Indigenous voice. It has been, seems it has been quiet for quite some time, and, with things coming to light throughout the nation as well as North America, it's important to, hear that perspective. Look to understand Indigenous people as we're all part of this creation here. We're all human, and there's so many similarities between us as people. It's often just seeking those and finding those commonalities that we all carry.